What's up, you weirdos? Fever here. I hope everyone's staying safe and being a good person to one another. We all like Destiny for one reason or another, and you might have this love-hate relationship with the game. That's probably why you clicked on this video. Many of us will say it's the gunplay, others will argue it's the lore or PvP. For me, it's everything about this game, but that doesn't come without having gripes or concerns. I'm starting a series where I talk about things I'd like to see change in Destiny. If you came here because you wanted to jump on the Let's Hate Bungie bandwagon, then you're definitely in the wrong place. This is more of a how can we improve the existing game going forward with Beyond Light, because I want Destiny to excel and be the best game it could possibly be. It has such a beautiful open world paired with an amazing gameplay loop, for the most part, but it gets overshadowed by some of the bad decisions Bungie has made along the way. I'm a long-time Destiny player with thousands of hours in D1 and 2. I even have 3 accounts just so I could experience the game over from the beginning a few times. I've done everything I want to do in the game up to this point, so now I sit back and think about ways I'd like to see Destiny change for the better. Starting the series off, I want to talk about the recycled content and what it's doing to the game as a whole. This is something that's plagued the game since the good old D1 days, but I think it's more noticeable now in Destiny 2. Who knows, maybe Bungie's running out of ideas. Keeping in mind that we as a community devour content faster than they can put it out. And I know all the new light players are probably overwhelmed with quests at the moment. You'll start to see what I'm talking about soon enough. Give it time. The content in this game is pretty good, but when you recycle it for every quest or piece of new seasonal content we get, it turns old real quick. Think about it. We get new seasonal stuff, but it's revolving around the same places and activities we've done 1,000 times over. How does that make you feel? This is where the burnt out feeling comes from and why we get that feeling so fast. I try out whatever activity it is once or twice, and that's it. I'm aware that making content is hard, and Bungie is up to their eyeballs trying the almost impossible task of keeping us happy, and a lot of the content we play was made long before we got our hands on it. So it can't just be changed at the drop of an emote or hat, whatever you prefer. And I'm totally cool with Bungie repurposing stuff, but at what point do you say enough already? To me, that right there is the main culprit of the bored and burnt feeling everyone yells about. I've looked at the Reddit forums, Twitter, and all sorts of social bullshit, and there's definitely a common denominator here. Let's use Shadowkeep for instance. The questline was almost non-existent. That was supposed to be a major expansion, but a lot of you weren't thrilled because it's just the moon we whooped Crota's ass on, with a few extra cracks in it. The dungeon in Scarlet Keepstrike, on the other hand, were well received, and I'm sure you guys can guess why. I'll give you a hint. New content. Shadowkeep wasn't all bad though. It turns into this rinse and repeat cycle of highs and lows for the community. That's when all the negative Bungie hate groups come out the woodwork. You hear media outlets and forums constantly bash Bungie and saying, Destiny is dead, and yet here we are. On the other hand, you have people blowing this game up like an image of baby Jesus is appearing on a tortilla chip in a lost sector somewhere. So then everyone else gets hyped, and when that ends, players realize it's the same stuff we've been doing over and over and over again. It's really disappointing when that weapon that's supposedly OP is really just a different skin on a weapon you've had 12 of already. I myself get hyped about any bit of news or info released because it's all we have to go on, so I'm in no way knocking anyone for hyping the game up. I think Bungie needs to slow down on trying to make content every season and stick to a more fleshed out DLC type of schedule. It'll go a long way with not having to recycle so much. This public event type of content every 3 months just ain't it, chief. I also think if Bungie is going to reuse content, don't underutilize it. Maybe I'm saying that wrong. If you're going to make us go into a lost sector for the 900th time to complete a quest, at least change it up somewhat. How about a damn strike boss in there that's 10 times too big to even fit in the sector? At this point, I wouldn't even care. Meme that shit out, Bungie. Us players are easily amused. I would much rather see something goofy and funny happen in the game than do the same fetch quest to get some weird part from a fallen captain that he really had no business having in the first place. Like, who's keeping tabs on these objects our enemies are stealing? Zavala needs to sit down and have a talk with Bob. We burn through these exotic quests and don't even pay attention to what's going on. The core gameplay loop is good in my opinion, but the quests for exotics are very boring and tiring, especially when it's the same for every exotic quest in game. Either make it a random drop or build a unique story for it. The Traveler's Chosen just came out, and it had so much potential. It wasn't a bad storyline. We had the evacuation, but before we can do that, I have to go kill a ton of enemies by doing a weekly bounty? And don't forget those famous lost sectors. For what reason? That's what killed it for me. And I know it was more of a last hoorah for the planets going away, but it seemed convenient. I would have been happy with a cutscene of my Guardian making out with Dan and Bray, as a last hoorah on Mars. I know Bungie has the potential to make Destiny one of the best games ever, but somewhere along the line they lost sight of the greatness this game can become. I know Bungie said they're changing up the formula some in Beyond Light, so I'm really hoping they can sort this out already. My goal is to update this series once a week, since I'm an idiot and bit off way more than I can chew on some other projects, so keep an eye out if you found this engaging. Anyways, let me know your thoughts down below. What would you like to see change after Beyond Light? And don't forget, stay safe, have a great day, please.